Have you ever stopped to think why Tadalafil, even though it is so highly recommended, sometimes simply doesn't work? You take the pill, wait for the right amount of time, but when you need it most, your body doesn't respond. Could the problem be with the medicine? Or could there be something going on behind the scenes, something you're doing without realizing it, that is completely canceling out its effects? Most men don't even realize it, but there are seemingly harmless behaviors that destroy the effectiveness of Tadalafil before it even starts to work. And the most worrying thing, these are common, routine behaviors that almost every man does, thinking that everything is fine, but it isn't. And while you keep repeating these habits, you are throwing money away, losing performance, and worst of all, putting your intimate health at risk without knowing it. In this video, you will discover exactly what these invisible traps are that are preventing you from getting the results you're hoping for. And the last factor is the most ignored of all, but also the most devastating. If you are tired of trying, of getting frustrated, of investing in the right medicine, and still feeling powerless in the face of failure, then this channel is for you. Here, we tell the truth that no one tells you. Here, you learn to recover your strength, your confidence, and your intimate life with awareness and respect. Don't wait for the situation to get worse. Don't accept living in the silence of insecurity. Sign up now and be part of a place where men's health is taken seriously, where you are welcomed, guided, and valued. Your potency begins with a choice, and it can be made now. Imagine the following scene. You prepared yourself, organized everything, took Tadalafil at the right time, did everything as they say it should be done. But when the most anticipated moment arrives, nothing happens. The body doesn't react. The desire is there, but the result doesn't come. Frustration is immediate. And the worst part, you start to think that the medicine is weak, that your body is failing, or that age has finally caught up with you. But what if the problem is not with you, nor with the medicine? What if what is actually blocking the effect is something you put on your plate minutes before swallowing the pill? Few people know this, but what you eat in the hours close to taking Tadalafil can completely compromise its effectiveness. And we are not just talking about alcohol, which is already a well-known factor when it comes to interference. We are talking about something that seems innocent, even nutritious, but that can be the #1 saboteur of your erection. Foods rich in fat, that's right. Burgers, fried foods, yellow cheeses, very fatty cuts of meat, industrialized sauces with an oil base, fast food, all of these directly interfere with the functioning of the medicine. And the reason is simple, but few people explain it clearly. When you eat a heavy meal rich in fat, your digestive system enters a slower and more intense absorption process. The body prioritizes digesting fat, and everything else ingested with it, including medications, takes a back seat. Tadalafil, in order to work properly, needs to be absorbed efficiently and relatively quickly. If the body is too busy breaking down fat molecules, the medication wastes space, wastes time, and in the end loses its effect. And it's not that it doesn't work, it's that it didn't have a chance to do its job properly. This explains why so many men report that sometimes the medication works, sometimes it doesn't. It's not luck, it's not psychology, it's science. What you eat before taking the pill makes all the difference. A heavy meal, minutes before the dose, can be the equivalent of throwing the pill away. Fat creates an invisible barrier between your effort and the result. And the worst part, many do this repeatedly without realizing it. They take the pill after a fancy dinner, complete with meat, French fries, dessert, and then wonder why it didn't work. The solution, fortunately, is simple. Pay attention to what you eat in the hours before taking Tadalafil. Prioritize light meals, easily digestible, with little or no fat content. A diet based on vegetables, light grains, fruits, and lean meats already helps the body to absorb the medication correctly. You don't need to become a nutritionist or change your routine forever. You just need to understand that taking the medication requires care, respect, and strategy. Otherwise, you will continue to spend money, increase frustration, and weaken your confidence little by little. And here is an even more serious warning. Some studies show that excessive and constant consumption of saturated fat can also harm endothelial function, that is, the health of blood vessels. This means that, in addition to canceling out the effect of the medication in the short term, this type of diet can affect your erection even without Tadalafil. In other words, fat, when ignored, can be a double enemy. It hinders you now and harms you even more in the future. If you felt that this information opened your eyes, if you realized that you may have sabotaged the effect of your own medication by not knowing this, I have a request of you, right here in the comments. Now I understand what is hindering my erection. This sentence will show that you are aware, willing to change, and above all, committed to your male health. Your comment could be the push that another man needs to open his eyes too. Now I will reveal to you an even more common and dangerous habit which comes disguised as care, but is one of the biggest saboteurs of the action of Tadalafil. Have you ever been through that moment when, even after taking Tadalafil correctly, on schedule, with expectation and preparation, your body simply did not respond? The erection did not come, or it did not last long, and you were left wondering what went wrong. What many men do not even realize is that the cause of this failure may be something they consider harmless or even necessary: the use of certain medications for flu, allergies, or nasal congestion. That's right. That pill you take to improve your breathing or get rid of a stuffy nose may be completely canceling out the effect of your erection medication without you knowing it. This is called pharmacological antagonism. On the one hand, Tadalafil works to relax blood vessels, allowing greater blood flow to the penis. On the other hand, decongestants, anti-allergens, and cold remedies contain substances that do exactly the opposite. They constrict blood vessels, tighten arteries, and reduce blood flow. And the worst part? Most of these medications are sold without a prescription, which makes many men take them randomly, thinking they are taking care of their health, when in fact, they are sabotaging their own intimate performance. Among the most common medications that interfere with the effect of Tadalafil are those based on pseudoephedrine, phenylephrine, loratadine, and cetirizine. If you look carefully at the labels of many anti-allergy or cold remedies, you will find these names. And what happens in practice is the following. While Tadalafil tries to open the pathways for blood to circulate freely, the other medication is sending an opposite order to close them. One blocks the effect of the other, and you are the one who pays the price, with frustration, a feeling of failure, and the false impression that your body is no longer functioning. This is even more serious at certain times of the year, such as winter or during periods of high allergy levels. Many men suffer from nasal congestion, rhinitis, or a runny nose, and take these medications thinking that it is the only way to breathe better. And yes, these medications help in these cases. But if you intend to have an intimate relationship and are counting on the help of Tadalafil, this relief can cost you dearly, because most of these medications remain active in the body for hours, even for a whole day. And while the anti-allergy effect is present, Tadalafil will be tied, unable to act as it should. What you need to understand is that no medication works in isolation. Your body is an integrated system. When you take a pill, it does not go directly to the place where you want it to work. It circulates through the blood, reaches various tissues, and interacts with other compounds. Therefore, the simple act of combining medications without knowing the effects of this mixture can destroy results, cause confusion, and even put your health at risk. And in the case of men's health, the impact is direct. Frustration at the crucial moment, loss of confidence, fear of failing again, and even loss of sexual interest over time. But the good news is that now you have this information, and from today on, you will be able to make more informed choices. If you have a cold or are taking an antihistamine, talk to a doctor before using Tadalafil. Wait for your body to completely eliminate the other medication, or ask for guidance on which substances do not interfere with the action of the erection treatment. Don't throw away the chance to live a pleasurable moment because of a mistake that could have been avoided with simple care. If you were surprised to discover that a simple antihistamine could be blocking the effectiveness of your treatment, write in the comments. Now I know that I need to be careful even with medication combinations. This shows that you are attentive, responsible, and committed to protecting your men's health with intelligence and awareness. Your comment may open the eyes of other men who are going through the same problem and have no idea what is happening. Now I will reveal an even more shocking truth. Why even with a prepared body, the mind can be the main reason for failure, and no one told you this. You may have followed everything to the letter. You took Tadalafil at the right time, with a light stomach, without having used any other medication that might interfere. And even so, at the time when you needed your body to work steadily, the response was almost non-existent. And then comes the most dangerous thought of all. Maybe my body is failing for good. But what you still haven't realized is that at this very moment, the greatest enemy of your erection may not be in your body, but in your mind. That's right. Anxiety, self-demand, psychological tension, and fear of failure are capable of completely sabotaging the effect of Tadalafil, even when everything seems to be going well on the physical side. And this happens to many more men than you imagine. Tadalafil is not a magic button. It doesn't create desire. It doesn't manufacture excitement, and it doesn't replace emotional involvement. It simply enhances a response that should already be underway. If your brain doesn't send the right signal, if you're not mentally present, if your mind is occupied with worries, insecurities, or internal pressures, your body simply won't react the way it should. It's as if the medicine is there, ready to act, but locked outside a door that you yourself have kept closed from the inside. And the cruelest part? All of this happens silently, without pain, without warning, but with a devastating impact on your confidence. Many men create such great pressure on their own performance that they end up in a destructive cycle. They think, I need it to work today. I can't fail. She'll notice if it doesn't work. And with these thoughts running in the back of your mind, your body goes into a state of alert, releases cortisol, increases your heart rate, and automatically reduces your ability to maintain an erection. This isn't weakness. This is biology. It's the body's defense system kicking in, as if you were in danger, even if the danger is just the fear of disappointing someone. And there's more. Excessive expectations about the medication also contribute to this frustration. Many believe that Tadalafil will solve everything, as if it were a guaranteed solution. But they forget that an erection starts in the brain, and the brain needs to be relaxed, focused on the moment, free from fear, shame, and guilt. When the head is tense, the body responds by blocking it. The mind is the first button that needs to be turned on. Without it, not even the most powerful medication in the world will work the way you expect. Therefore, if you really want to make the most of Tadalafil, you need to learn to prepare not only your body, but also your mind. Start by slowing down. Create a comfortable environment without rushing, without pressure. Talk to your partner. Transform the moment into something intimate, light, without demanding performance. Forget the clock. Forget expectations. Focus on pleasure, on exchange, on presence. Only then does the brain understand that it is safe and release the signals that the medicine needs to act. And when this happens, the result is not only physical, it is emotional as well. You feel more confident, more whole, more connected. Another point worth reinforcing: if you have experienced previous failures, it is normal to feel insecure. But the more you feed this fear, the harder it will be to free yourself from it. You need to understand that a failure does not define your virility. What defines it is the way you react, how you take care of yourself, how you seek information and position yourself in relation to your own health. The mind has an absurd power to lift or tear a man down. And the first step to changing this is to stop pretending that everything is fine when it is not, and start facing what really matters: the balance between body and mind. If this explanation helped you realize that the problem may not be in your body, but in the way you are feeling and demanding of yourself. Leave a comment below. The mind also needs to be at peace. This phrase is your commitment to a new beginning, a lighter, more conscious, more truthful beginning. Your comment could be the push another man needs to break out of the cycle of frustration and give his own sexual health a real chance. Now you understand why, even if you do everything right, Tadalafil may not work. It's not just the medicine that matters. It's your habits, the wrong combinations, and even your state of mind that determine whether or not your erection will happen as expected. And most importantly, you now have the power to change this. What once seemed like a mystery now makes sense. And this knowledge can transform your intimate life, your confidence, and your male health as a whole. If you've identified any of these mistakes in your routine, don't hesitate. Talk to a urologist, share your concerns, and keep your exams up to date. Taking care of your potency is taking care of your life. If you've made it this far, congratulations. This shows that you really care about your health and want to avoid problems before it's too late. I'd like to invite you to leave a comment saying that you watched the entire video so that I can get to know you and find out who is truly committed to taking care of their male health. Also, check now if you are already subscribed to the channel. If not, click the subscribe button. Like this video, share it with other men, and don't let this knowledge go to waste. Most men only realize that something is wrong with their prostate when it is too late. In the first pinned comment, I left a link to a playlist that can prevent this from happening to you. Watch it now before it is too late.